Well, welcome to Tech Talks today with Nat Coco and Matt Mosley. We're here to dive into some AI tools for streamlining business operations. I'll go through a little bit of that. This is a super interactive session that we've got today. So I like to be fluid with, what maybe might be on your mind, go through worked on to share with you today. And if that's something that's already been covered in your own mind or your experience with that, we'll just move on to something more specific to you. Mia, great to see you, mate. All right, awesome. So I'll just share my screen here. We'll go through this. At the very end of this, I've got a booking link where you can jump on a one-on-one Ask Me Anything that is complimentary. That is my way of giving back to you for being here today. So I'm going to jump straight in to this formal presentation. This is not a death by PowerPoint session, so just a heads up on that. So in regards to streamlining businesses, I'm excited to share with you how we've been working as a company using this within our own businesses and alongside our company. A little bit about me. My name is Nat Coco, stands for Keep On Keeping On. I used to despise AI and I thought it was a bunch of hype. And now that I've personally moved past those hurdles, I'm here to share with you and work with you how to lean in and use useful shit for your businesses with the use of AI. I'm here to keep it real. And so a little bit of engagement would be appreciated. Is that if we're having a look at how familiar you are with AI from 1 to 5, everyone in the room, if you can just type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and yell at me, whatever you want to do, I welcome that. So 1 is you're not familiar with AI at all, or 5, you're quite proficient in using AI. So you can set your own range there. Just put that in the chat. All right, 3, awesome. 3. All right, I'm going to call people out when you're not answering. So Matt, type in the chat. Apple, Levy, Mia. What have we got here? Yeah, all right, cool. All right, so we've got a bit of intermediate usage here. So that's awesome to hear, to see where you guys are at. Oh, there we go. And so how many of you guys are feeling that you're spending too much time on repetitive tasks? So we could talk about, yes, you're spending a lot of time on repetitive tasks, or no, or you're not sure. So type that in the chat. Definitely. Awesome. Okay. Lots of hub tasks, but we use AI for. Yep, no worries. Okay, cool. So we're probably all misusing some of our time, not intentionally, but there's just these new solutions that are coming out. What if I could share with you some of the everyday tools that you are probably already using and may not be aware that there's AI in that? Would that be of interest to you guys? Yep, nods of heads. That's okay. I won't get you to do too much work. That's my job today. So in a nutshell, key benefits of AI automation in everyday tools and tasks that we've already been exposed to: time saving, improve accuracy, cost efficiency, freeing up your time and resources on that. I've got an example of how this can be used in Google Sheets. Now, some of these demonstrations are quite extensive. So what I would prefer to do is give you the videos so that you can watch them in your own time. You can slow them down, you can speed them up, rather than hearing me harp on about it at speed 1. I don't know about you guys, but I like to watch things on 2 times speed when I'm doing something. So I don't want to take up all your time here today. Are you guys cool with that? Just as in like a thumbs up or a yes, that would be helpful. And that way we can do some live workshopping. Yeah, sweet. Happy days. And that way everyone can do that in their own pace if it's relevant to them or not. Okay, so this is the Google Sheets demo. We've got that over here. So you'll have access to that after this. The next thing we'd be covering is in the use of Gmail, or maybe it's your Microsoft Teams, where there's a capacity for smart reply and smart compose, priority your inbox, and auto categorization, which is generally built into these systems already. Again, I've got a demo for this where you can watch in your own time. Cool with that? Yes. Yep, don't want death by PowerPoint by me. That would be the worst. That's a Gmail demo. And then we've got an example of using Canva and the artificial intelligence features in there, your magic design, your resizing, brand kits, and so on and so forth. Again, I think of your choosing, you can choose to watch this in your own time, double speed, and that way you can pick and choose what is actually relevant to you. Everyone cool with that? A lot of yeses here. I've got a yes momentum going here. So that's when we do the Canva demo. One live demo that I will be sharing with you today is a couple of our custom solutions. And the reason we've kind of decided to share some of the custom solutions is based on that this is the capacity that you can use artificial intelligence for. And so if I can just ask you very kindly, is anyone having challenges with the use of AI and it's sounding a little bit generic? Is anyone experiencing that at all? Like generic outputs. So if you're using AI, do you find that some of the outputs may be a little bit generic? So you're writing an email or some content. Can we get some comments there saying you've nailed it, you don't have a problem with that, or just so I can gauge where you're sitting?
Yeah, definitely. I do a lot of content using AI, as you know, Nat. Definitely have to tweak it a lot.
Yeah.
I do find a lot of time I'll be like, write 10 posts and it'll all be a bit too similar.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Definitely, there could be a lot around, trying to use different prompts to come up with something a bit more original.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And my yacht, or AKA Mia, said it used to be, but it's getting better. Can you help if you're open to sharing that to the group? Like, what's your experience there, mate?
So we've just gotten better with our prompts. So we've been using it for one particular company. We've just been we've actually got it to scan everything on our website, everything on our blogs, everything on our so and that's really helped. It's like, and with brand voice, and so we've literally got it to do scan everything, and that seems to have really helped.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great to hear. That's definitely progression in the use of AI. And Marilyn, don't have a problem as we've trained AI brand corporate guidelines. Awesome. So definitely as we're moving through, during this year, I'm starting to notice a combination of some generic outputs and not as much. So if you've been using it for a while, this is definitely showing more of that. So that's great to hear, guys. You guys are nailing that in that respect. So on that note, without taking too much of your time, I'll share a couple of examples of some of the solutions that we've created, and then a bit of an open floor to maybe some pain points that you guys have experienced that maybe I could support you with in this moment. Is that okay with you? Yeah, sweet as. I'm all about asking what you want, because there's no point in me covering things that you already know and have sort of overcome, right? So let's jump into Just give me a thumbs up in the screen or in the chat. You can see that. Cool. Thumbs up. Awesome. All right. So happy days. So I'll share with you two different solutions that we've created. One's called Content Volcano, which is ultimately a knowledge base, an extensive engineered knowledge base based on our company and using prompt engineering to facilitate that. The other solution that I'm going to be sharing with you is Pocket Volcano, which is more of a fundamental entry level if people aren't familiar with prompting and need a bit of guidance on that. And so out of those two, do you guys want to do a little bit of a vote and let me know which one you'd prefer to see, the Pocket Volcano or the Content Volcano? And then that way I'll go through that with you. What would be of more interest to you? Need some thinking music. Do, 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 do. Matt, what would you like to see? Mia, Marilyn, Camille, Levi? Content Volcano. Okay, all right, cool. Let's get Content Volcano, sweet as. Cool. All right. So I've got just full disclosure, I've got a couple ones that I've already run this morning, but I also want to show you it live. So here we go. So this is a something that I've pre-prepared, but we're just going to do that live instead. Cool. So the purpose of this, are you all using ChatGPT? Okay, cool. So this solution is just built within ChatGPT in the developer background. So we're just going to say, what is Content Volcano for? All right. Just a little bit of sharing with this. If you want a copy of this at the end, more than happy to send that over to you. And then, so an example of using this to, so let's just say we're looking for a job description. Now, this is, you might be thinking this is quite a standard request, but the point of using a custom solution such as this, or if you've got one of your own, is saying, I want it to be in my tonality. So we'll say, great. Let's show an example of writing a job description to hire a new automations executive assistant for the founder of Content Volcano. I'm using this as a live example because it's something that I will be hiring in the very short time. So should I see through these roles? So in respect to this is saying HR specialist, content strategist, AI. So we're going to go number 3. Make sure you write it in Nat Coco's tonality. Is this all making sense so far? Any questions while I'm doing this? Cool. Yep, sweet as. So rather than a generic output where it's say, hey, we're looking for an automation perspective, this is now drawing from the company database of, I think we've got about 400 pages of information on our business and how we speak and how we run. And so this is where this is drawing this from. Would anyone like to challenge the model that we've built or go through another example? No, that's okay. Oh, all good on this end? Okay, cool. So if I just ask a question now in the use of your experience with ChatGPT or any other large language models that you're using, are you finding to do something like that fairly easy now? Have you trained yourself? I know you're all quite proficient in this. Is that? Anyone want to take themselves off mute? No? I'm trying to use it.
Marilyn just wrote, yeah, easy to use.
Yep, okay, cool. And what do you find easy to use, Marilyn?
Hold on, I'll jump. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah, look, we're using ChatGPT. So because we have already trained it and doing those kind of things, we would enter in the prompts very similar to what you've just done. So I just find that really, really easy. And once it spits out, obviously it's still kind of for us, it's still an 80-20 rule, in terms of going through and making sure that it's correct to our tonality and our values, etc. So, but yeah, fairly easy to use.
Awesome. And what are some of the, if you don't mind me asking, some of the challenges that you're facing with AI that you would maybe bring to the table, and see if any of the other proficient users here have any input? Otherwise, I'm happy to speak to it as well.
I guess in terms of AI, what I'm interested in is finding more about content creation with video, that kind of thing with AI.
Yep.
We're using Canva at the moment, but I find it a bit clunky. So I'm just interested. That's my main focus, really.
Video?
Yeah, video.
Okay. And with the video that you're looking to explore, and Canva's a bit clunky, can you help me understand what your ideal state would be in that? As in, what are you hoping for?
Quick turnaround, being able to easily, take a long form piece of content and split it out into multiple kind of vignettes or
like snippets.
Snippets for use across all media.
Yeah. Okay.
That we utilize. Yeah.
All right. And if you feel like I'm interrogating you, just let me know and I'll stop. But have you explored any other tools outside of Canva for that?
Look, there are a few other tools that I know exist, and I've got a little bit of a kind of prep list. But because I've been away, I haven't really had the time to explore them, really. So it's kind of on my to-do list.
Yep.
So, but that's my main focus at this time. Yeah.
All right. Well, I can rattle off a couple of solutions just off the top of my head if you're open to hearing those now.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. You can also do like a one-on-one where you can dive into the exact details. But off the top of my head, you've got Opus Clip, you've got Revid. Revid's a really interactive and dynamic solution that you can go and use. So those two off the bat.
Okay.
I'm happy to send you a link as well.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. I'll just write a note there. Actually, AI will take the notes for me, but no, please send Marilyn the links to the video solutions that she is having a look for. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're very welcome. Anyone else would like to share any of their pain points that they're experiencing that maybe I could support you with in this moment? Oh, you're on mute, Mia.
Yeah, I am. I guess I'm more interested in we can see what it can do, and we're using it in a really, really narrow way. So I'm looking at, I guess, what other things are out there where we could be using it in the everyday, like what you just did with the job creation, like the job description and stuff like that. We're just not using it for those very mundane tasks, I guess.
Okay. Is that because you weren't aware of it, or just the time to be able to put your head into it? Like, what's the idea there?
Time factor is always for me. It's always a time factor thing. So yeah, that's probably my biggest thing. Okay. What it can do. So I guess I'm just looking at, okay, what I can do, because then I can, all right, okay, I hadn't thought about that.
Okay, cool. Mia, I'm happy to break it down in a one-on-one session. You know how I work. So let's jump into, if you want to fill in the feedback form at the end, and we'll cover that in a one-to-one, so you can go away and have some actionable steps.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, sweet as. So job descriptions, maybe some administrative tasks and those sorts of things. Anything
processes, and really just like, that really boring, like when you were saying repetitive tasks, I could definitely use it more and like, say for instance, the HubSpot organization, or all of that sort of stuff. I think that would work really well.
Looks like we've got a team full of experienced people in both AI and HubSpot in that respect. So I think some of the other repetitive tasks, would you mind just sharing some of those, those mundane, boring processes that we all experience as business owners that you want support in?
Look, even just things like finance-wise, to be honest, just that really simple, like maybe there's some solutions that I'm not looking at or haven't looked at for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's unpack that in a session through the dynamic voice form. We'll take that into a session and get some things up and running for you as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Anyone else? Matt, Apple, is it?
Yeah, I think from us it's just Levy. I think just from us it's probably a similar thing. Like, obviously embracing AI, working with HubSpot a lot. It's just sort of how we can sort of take it to that next step. We played around with a few things, like using some third-party integrators to connect custom GPTs and the AI, and just try and really enhance what we do. So I think it's just more of a time thing, and to sit down and understand what can be done, because it's like that with everything. Obviously with HubSpot, there's product updates every second day, and it's hard to stay on top of it. Even as a HubSpot partner. I think the same thing, AI is moving even quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Apple, Levy, anything that you can think of? Oh, and Camille, you can type it in the chat, or no, that's okay. No pressure, no stress, all good. Okay, so I think one of the things that, well, from what I'm observing from not only this conversation and with other people working in businesses or business owners, is that what can AI do? And that really comes down to what is the stuff or the repetitive tasks that is just mundane, boring, and you probably maybe procrastinate or just not having enough hours in the day, and actually doing a brain dumping session saying, I'm spending all this time writing these emails, or I'm spending all this time doing XYZ, or I don't know the capacity to do that. And so what I'd like to encourage and welcome you to do is in the feedback form, you can actually speak your answers or type them down, and I will genuinely spend time with you and let's just map some of these things out that you can actually go and do yourself. There are custom solutions that, you know, my team and I build, but at the end of the day, this is about enabling you guys to be independent in the use of AI, so that you're not necessarily having to rely on a third party all the time. Does that sound like it's of interest to you? So you can take the reins with a bit of, just like with a bit of guidance there. Okay, cool. Oh, we're smashing out the time frame, so I'm happy to do any live demos that are sort of in the mix there, but just take a little pause for a moment and see if anyone wants to have a think about, we could do a live workshop now, which doesn't divulge any of your intellectual property. Anything there? Otherwise, I can have a look at some of these processes that we've spoken to just now. Yeah? Okay. All right. So I'm just having a look here. So let's do a live brain dumping session. All right. Let's do it. So I'm going to open a tool called Otter. And Otter is a live transcription tool. So I'll just bring that up and then we'll just do this together. Right. Just bear with me. I'll share my screen in just a moment. Bear with me. Cool. All right. So for your reference, what I'm doing is I'm opening and then we can just see this live. So in this example, I am just going to natively speak to AI like I do on a daily basis and share with you part of the brainstorming that I do. Sweet. Sweet. Cool. All right, so we've got Otter over here, live transcript, and then I've got Content Volcano and also Pocket Volcano sitting right here. So this is what I'll do. Hey, ChatGPT, or Echo Sage as I call her, is that, hey, I'm doing a live demonstration for intermediate users of artificial intelligence who are quite familiar using ChatGPT. They're having a lot of success in the use of AI and starting to hone in their skills on how they speak to it, and also how they navigate the use of creating content, say as a use case, and getting to sound more like them because they've trained their own models. What I'd like to do in this example is share a couple of use cases of, let's do a brain dump of some of the challenges that some of the crew in the room are experiencing. So one of them is that maybe there's some narrow use of artificial intelligence and saying, what can it do? So what I'd like you to do is provide 10 use cases of direct discussions within ChatGPT and how they can use it to uncover what some of their pain points are. Another thing that is quite noticeable in this experience is that a lot of repetitive tasks of, let's say some accounting, some bookkeeping, some administration, or even note taking. And so let's take that into consideration as well. Some other examples of this can be the content creation around video usages and how to use that in short format with the use of AI supporting it so they can save time. So what I'd like you to do on that note is provide me 3 business software use cases, and I want you to provide me the URL link to these possible solutions. Make sure when you provide an output is that you provide it to me in Australian English, because the Zs absolutely do my head in when I'm doing and using AI. Sorry. This is a prompt. Prompts don't have to be complicated. So we're just going to put this into Pocket Volcano just now. The reason I've specifically used this one is that we've trained this one as a prompt engineer. Software analyst. Okay, I'm just laughing because it's called, I call it EchoSage, and it's responded to this. So, yeah, please proceed. And I never worry about spelling correctly into AI because it's way smarter than me, so it understands. Here we go. So for something like this, say Mia, Marilyn, Matt, Levi, Camille, Apple, is that if you speak into AI as if you're speaking to a human, saying, what problems are you trying to solve? And then going through that process of doing this way, right? So 3 business software use cases with URLs, right? So what this hasn't done is that it hasn't actually listened to the instruction of saying, hey, we want video content creation. So we'll just say, great, please focus on the AI use case of video content, such as, we'll just put opus.pro. And so I'm giving it reference to research the internet for that, right? Has anyone got any questions or add-ons to this of how they possibly using it that could help the room?
My thing that just might be about explaining how you, like the basics around getting a custom GPT to this point, that you can sort of have them set up, have them trained. I know a lot of people probably are using ChatGPT and are just, writing stuff in, but that next level where, you've trained it and you're communicating with it and it's learning, I think is that next step that a lot of people maybe don't understand or.
Okay. So if I were to share with the possible ways to train it yourself, is that what you mean?
Just the basic concept around what you've done to get it to that point. I don't think we need to go into detail. That could be another session, but
that's
just
okay.
Sort of how you've got it to that point that,
Okay.
You said before it's trained to be a prompt engineer. How did you get it to that point?
Okay. So without boring you with my life story, I am an ex-mechanical fitter, and an example is that if I heard something in an engine room that didn't sound how how it should be running. Like if there sounds like there's a piston misfiring, is saying, well, where's that sound coming from? And reverse engineering and troubleshooting from that. So I use it as a broad example, is that the way I look at the use of custom solutions or building it to this stage is understanding what is the outcome that I'm looking for and what knowledge do I have on that particular field. So if it's for content writing, say, you're saying, what do I need to guide and build a structure to get the output that I'm looking for, where it looks like me, it sounds like me, and we know with confidence that any team member can use this. So it's about identifying what do you want to achieve in the use case of using AI to remove the gaps of the repetitive tasks. So saying, so your job descriptions or writing tenders. What do you know already about that process to then guide and build a system behind that? Now, is that helping the process of understanding how we get these outcomes of custom solutions? Or is any questions around that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense from like a very broad sense. So yeah, you take it to that level and then you dive down and train the GPT. Is that correct? Or
yes. So is everyone familiar with long division in schools and pencils? I mean, I know I'm of the age where I used to use, parchments, but as in pencil and paper. Yeah, like doing maths, and you had to work something out. Before you used a calculator, you need to understand the principles of how to get there in the first place. Yep. So when building a custom solution, we need to think about how would we do this as a human to get the outcome. Now, if we know that fundamental, we can build any solution, whether it's maths, whether it's rope manufacturing, whether it's the velocity in XYZ, or the viscosity in diesel, which means the amount of water that's sitting in diesel. So if you understand how you're already doing something, then we can build a custom solution. Now, I know that's a broad term, but it's understanding that everyone has a set of expertise, and it's about understanding how can we put that in a framework. And I think the best thing we can do that is on a one-to-one session is actually map out how we could possibly achieve that with something that you're struggling with, because my role in this short time frame will not provide enough time to show you how to build a custom GPT. Is that helpful? Or did I just confuse everyone even more?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You find a problem, I suppose. It's just then getting to the point around having the resources to train it and teach the GPT. But that's probably maybe another session.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's certainly we could do miniature versions of building custom GPT, so you can actually go and do it yourself. I think to the extent of where we're getting the outputs consistent is that comes with 4,000 hours of working with AI. And I understand how the large language models work to be able to build those solutions. So yes, it's quite straightforward if you've got 4,000 hours of building these things. But if we're just getting started, we can certainly strip it back and say, let's just achieve something small and actionable so you can feel more confident in doing something like this. Me, I see you smirking there, mate. What's going on in your head? Oh, you're muted.
I'm just running through. Like I get what you're saying, but it's just like the things that I could do. Like I'm like, it was going to take me.
Okay.
Get there.
And so let's use a brain dumping session to get that out of your head. So don't worry about building a solution. The main thing here to identify is like, what on earth are you challenged with? And let's just list it out. Don't worry about a custom GPT right now. Let's just get that out of your head.
Yeah,
and then you clear up space to then work on custom solutions.
Yeah.
Don't
Because
just
like
build a-
even the thing with the tender, I was like, oh my God, like there's so many things that I could use it for. And that's my problem. Then I go,
Yeah.
oh, and then I need to bring it back and actually just do one thing at a time.
So in our one-on-one, let's just do a brain dump session and start there. We're not going to build anything until we've done a brain dump.
Okay.
Otherwise you're working backwards and you're going to step on eggshells or maybe glass and cut your foot, and it's going to be useless. And so let's just do a brain dump session. And I encourage that with everyone. If you'd like me to help facilitate that, that's what I'm here for. 100%. And then we can build micro solutions.
Yeah.
One at a time. One at a time. Cool. Any other questions while I've got you guys here?
Similarly, if you've got any HubSpot questions as well, feel free to jump in with any HubSpot related questions if you have any.
Not from me, Nat, but I do need to jump off. Sorry, I've got to run to something, but that's all very impressive and it was crystal clear. So it's made great sense to me. So thank you for your presentation. It was really actually adding value. But yeah, I'll follow up after this, I think. So if that's okay. And yeah.
Awesome. Marilyn, do you mind if we send you a link just to fill out
Not
that
at all. Not at
Yep.
all. That'd be great. Okay.
Beautiful,
Thanks,
mate.
everybody. Thank you.
Thanks
So
for
I've got to
being here.
run. Okay.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Cool. All right. The floor is yours. Otherwise, we can put the little link in there, and you can more than welcome to fill that out.
Yeah, sounds good. We might wrap it up. I'll finish the recording.
Yep.
There's no other questions, and yeah, thanks everyone. Nat, chuck the link down,
Done.
and we'll go from there.